What makes a good war film? There's a lot of war films out there. Most notable ones that come to mind: Saving Private Ryan, Platoon, Dunkirk, 1917, and so forth. However, I want to talk about Fury.
I started this war killing Germans in Africa. Now I'm killing Germans in Germany.
Now, Fury is one of my favourite war films of all time, and I'm going to explain why that is, and why Fury is, one, a very underrated war film, and two, why it is such an impactful war film. The first thing that comes to mind with Fury is the fact that it doesn't hide away from the reality of war. It's very gritty, it's very brutal, and it's very violent, and it shows, well, the grit and reality of war. And I'm not just talking about the battles. One of the very first scenes of Fury is when they come back to base camp, and you just see all these bodies being piled everywhere. You see on the characters' faces that they are literally in hell. And I love how this film, in terms of its cinematography, it's very, very f***ing dull and grey. It's not trying to show any sort of light within the dark, if that makes sense. This film rarely shows any sort of hope within a history surrounded by darkness. And that's what I really love about this film, because when it does show a bit of colour, it's immediately taken away.
It's called war! You feel it?
Let's go to Norman real quick, because Norman is a very, very key character in Fury. In fact, he is the character. He's the main character. And he's the main character because we, the audience, view this film essentially through his eyes. Norman comes into base camp very new, very fresh, never even seen the inside of a tank, never held a gun, and obviously has never killed anyone. And he's being dropped in the deep end. He's being dropped in the heart of Germany, surrounded by Germans, and he's given a very crucial role in this tank crew. Well, he's essentially being put in a tank that's leading the whole colony, really. So, yeah, deep. And we, the audience, are experiencing all these kind of violences for the first time as well. Especially when we see the first tank getting blown up and the guy's on fire. That's the kind of like the very first time, in Norman's eyes, we see something of that extreme. And Norman, the fact that he is new, gives a sense of familiarity to us, the audience. Because when we see the tank crew for the first time, they've gone through a lot already. War Daddy even says later on in the film,
I started this war killing Germans in Africa, then France, then Belgium. Now I'm killing Germans in Germany. It will end, but before it does, a lot more people gotta die.
So these soldiers have seen it already, and we haven't. We haven't seen it from their POV. We're seeing it only from Norman's POV, which kind of makes us get behind Norman a bit more, but it also really throws us in the deep end as much as it does Norman. And that's what a war film needs to do. It needs to throw your audience in deep. It needs to shock the audience. It needs to show war is no joking matter. It needs to show brutality. It needs to show what actually happened all them years ago. But Norman is not the only character that's worth noting about. The whole tank crew is worth noting about, because each character in that tank holds a specific element of the story, a specific message, a specific type of soldier in World War II.
It's my home.
War Daddy, he's the leader, of course. He's there through the hardships. He's trying to get his team from A to B without dying. He is the first to make the decisions. He is the first to make the right decisions, because if he makes the wrong decisions, everyone's dead. Now, later on in the film, he has to make that choice, whether to stay and fight or just leave. And he tells his crew, you know,
Boys, take care of yourselves. Get to that tree line.
and he's making the decision to sacrifice himself, but at the same time, his leadership quality is what makes everyone else stay with him. So then on his shoulders as well, he knows that it is going to be the end soon. So the sacrifice he's making is not just his own sacrifice, but he's aware that he is basically sacrificing everyone on his crew for a bigger cause, to stop the Germans.
Wait till you see it. See what? What a man can do to another man.
Bible is a very good character in showing the type of soldier close to his lord. Someone who's like his name's f***ing Bible, for God's sake. But the constant reminder of the afterlife through Bible is essentially telling the audience that these soldiers and just everyone in the war, death is always almost inevitable when you're in certain situations, especially in the Second World War. And it's like a constant foreshadowing. So Bible is a key character to show the inevitability of death.
She'll let you f for a chocolate bar.
Gordo, you know, he's a soldier where he has challenged War Daddy, and the thing I can remember is the horses story, where he's talking about the horses. His character was the first to break down in front of people. Of course, we had War Daddy, where he did it before, and he only did it behind, you know, behind the tank and behind, away from everyone to make sure that he stays strong for his team. But Gordo, he breaks down first in front of the whole team. The fact that he talks about the horses and essentially loses his cool basically shows how war can affect someone. And it's the metaphor of horses, you know. Horses are meant to be, well, not man's best friend, because that's dogs, but they're not violent creatures, you know. I got Red Dead on my mind, man. Well, I'm just thinking about Blackwater, where all that money went. Grady, his character is very simple. His character shows the effects of war it has on someone. In other words, the anguish of war. We see that through just how he's pretty much a dick throughout the whole film. And it shows how that anguish of war turns into pain, and that pain turns into hate, and that turns into fear. And then that just becomes human nature.
Ideals are peaceful. History is violent.
One thing about Fury I really love, and that's how the characters have moments of joy within this era of darkness. And it kind of, you think of the light before the storm, and that sets up perfectly through this film. This film, spoiler alert, most of them, if not all of them, die. And there was not one point in the film we thought that was going to happen at all. At all. Not even when the tank was broken and they were stuck on the crossroads and they were killing Germans left, right and centre, which is such a fucking badass moment. Not one point we thought these men are going to die. We all thought they were going to survive and be war heroes. But then... one of my favourite parts of the film, mainly because of everything. It's not one just thing. The cinematography is beautiful. The soundtrack, can't beat it. And the line...
Sergeant Collier?
Yes.
I'm scared.
I'm scared too.
Oh my god. That single moment alone was so perfectly done that I cannot think of the top of my head any other war film moment that tops that in emotion. Granted, it's not the best ever war scene, but in terms of emotion of war, chef's kiss. Another key thing to note is that Fury is very unique as a war film. It's essentially a tank war film, where we see exactly how tank warfare would go down in the Second World War. And it being a tank war film, the setting of the fact that they're in a tank, you know, it's very enclosed, it's very, well, they're probably not claustrophobic, but if you are claustrophobic, then f*** me, you don't want to watch this film. It just adds to the horrors of war that you could face, that you could be facing. But Fury, in summary, is a great war film, one of the greatest war films of all time, because of how it shows the reality of war through the different lenses of different types of characters. And how Fury itself, in all its elements, whether that be the sound, the cinematography, of course, spoke about the acting, and the story, and the lines, and the script, all of it all comes together to make this perfect masterpiece of war. And it really pays homage to all those that sacrificed themselves during the Second World War, and how we should be grateful that we are here today, and how that their sacrifice is what's most important.
Hey, you're a hero, buddy. You know that?
But yeah, let me know in the comments, do you like the film Fury? Have you seen the film Fury? If not, I recommend you going and giving it a nice watch. Trust me, you won't regret it. Also, before you go, I'd like to say thank you for watching the video. Please like and subscribe. And we have started a brand new series on this channel. The very first series of this channel, where I will be trying to explain and summarize every Shakespeare play as simply as possible. And if you want to see the very first episode of this new series, then just click right here. Trust me, you won't regret it.